Seeing as there were a few questions on morning glory seeds, and seeing as I have tried them, I thought I'd pass along some tips I've garnered on consuming them, as well as a description of the high. Earlier this year, I downloaded the Natural High FAQ. The description of morning glory seeds, as well as earlier discussion about them on the net. Last year some people described their experiences with them, prompted me to take them. I've never tried LSD, and the FAQ said that the seeds contained LSA, some sort of chemical cousin of LSD. This added further impetus to my desire to try them. Based on my own empirical testing of the commonly available MG seeds, the ones labeled heavenly blue are the ones you want. The other seed types seem to have little physicoactive effect. I purchased the seeds from two different companies, Northrop King, NK, where the seed origin is Holland, and Olds, which grows their seed here in my hometown, Madison, Wisconsin. The easiest time to find MG seeds, or most other commonly sold seeds, is in the spring, when they are sold at supermarkets, hardware stores, etc. Play it safe. Before you consume the seeds, wash them. This is not to prevent nausea, because even untreated MG seeds are probably going to make you feel sick. The LSA, and the chemicals that make you feel sick are all there because the plant does not want you eating its seeds. Washing them removes any dirt and fungicides which may be on the seeds, things you probably don't want to eat. I used a strainer, the kind used for noodles, to clean the seeds. Place all the seeds in the strainer and run lukewarm water over them for a minute or two. You might want to use a little dishwashing liquid too. After washing them, it's time to consume them. The FAQ said LSA is water-soluble, so ideally you would grind up the seeds, a pepper grinder works well, and soak them in water. Soak the seeds for an hour or two. Strain the water through a coffee filter and drink the blackish-green water. Alas, in my own experience, described below, the effect of the seeds is much stronger if you actually drink the ground-up seeds with the water. I've tried MG seeds on 3 occasions, all within a 2-week period about a month ago. The first time a friend and I consumed 5 1.5 gram packs between us. We ground up the seeds and put them in tea bags, which we soaked in hot water for about 10 minutes. After a few hours we both concluded that they had done little for us. We both just felt a little weird for a few hours. On the upside, neither of us felt sick after drinking our tea. Being the stubborn person that I am a programmer after all, winking face. I was determined to see if there was anything to MG seeds. On the second occasion I consumed 6 1.2-ounce packs of seeds. On this occasion I ground up the seeds and soaked them in some water for about an hour. I then drank the entire mess. In anticipation of feeling sick, I hopped on my bicycle, it was a cold spring night, and rode around the city. I had been hoping that the bike riding would keep my mind off any sickness. I started to feel sick after about half an hour. It started to get real bad, the nausea, after 45 minutes. I had brought some pot with me just in case, and after smoking a little almost all the nausea went away. Unfortunately, I was now high, so I couldn't really observe the MG seeds as they came on smiley face. After about an hour I still felt nothing, besides being high, and concluded prematurely that the seeds had done nothing. However, as I was riding home, I began to feel real weird. My field of view seemed to expand, and the entire sky looked enormous. The bike ride home was fantastic. I really can't explain the high. I now understand why people say you can't describe LSD to people who have never used it. The effects wore off after about 4 hours, but I had a lot of trouble sleeping that night. On the third occasion I was with my brother. This time I tried 9 1.5 gram packs of only heavenly blue seeds. Note that on the other 2 times I had mixed different types of seeds. My brother tried only other varieties of seeds. Again I ground up the seeds, soaked them in some water, and drank the entire mix. This was to be the start of a huge, often unenjoyable trip for me. My brother, who has tried acid, said that he felt very little, that's why I recommend the heavenly blue seeds, but that what he did feel was like the end of an acid trip. About an hour after eating the seeds, I began to feel sick. We ate the seeds at about 8 at night. I would feel sick on and off during the entire trip until about 6 in the morning, when I finally blew chunks. This did not, however, end the trip. The effects of the high trip came on very gradually, over some hours. After staying with my brother for a few hours, I decided to try to bike home. This was something of a mistake. Riding home was difficult, as everything seemed strange and alien. I ride my bike a lot. I don't own a car. Yet even my bike seemed foreign. I had trouble telling where my body ended and the bike began. I also started experiencing visual hallucinations. I saw red and green lights and my vision seemed soft and fuzzy. As cars passed by me, their headlights seemed to shine through the back of my head. I also started to get real paranoid and self-conscious. When I got to my apartment, I saw that my roommate was still up. I was feeling so weird and paranoid that I felt I couldn't deal with talking to him. So I wandered around my neighborhood late at night on my bike, paranoid, sick and tripping. That part was truly awful. I began to worry that the seeds had been treated with mercury and that I had permanently lost my mind. After what seemed like days, actually only about an hour, I returned to my apartment, where to my relief I found my roommate had gone to bed. Feeling I might throw up, I went to the bathroom. In the mirror I noticed that my pupils were fully dilated, and I spent several hours looking at myself in the mirror. Near the end of this time the skin all over my body seemed to be moving and crawling as I looked at it. This scared me pretty bad, so I went to my room to try to sleep. I still don't know whether or not my skin was actually crawling, but it sure looked like it. I couldn't sleep, my bed, the room, everything was wrong. Also, I kept seeing these strange lights, not really in the room, but more inside myself. Some of them were pretty ornate and seemed to be moving. This may sound cool, but it was extremely unpleasant. At that time I would have given anything to stop the experience and roll over and go to bed. Around 6 o'clock in the morning I finally hurled, but I still felt weird. The really stupid thing was that I did this during a weekday, and I had to go to work the next day. Not having slept at all, I went into work still feeling pretty shook up, but I made it through the day. Overall it was a pretty nasty experience. I guess you'd say I had a bad trip. On the plus side, I did have a few interesting thoughts. The old philosophical mind-body problem seemed to become a non-problem. At one point while I was looking at myself in the mirror, and struggling with my nausea, the sick feeling suddenly became entirely a mental phenomena. I came to see my body as a mental thing, merely an extension or lower part of my entire being. This was something I actually experienced, not just an intellectual realization. So rather than having one's mind a product of the body, brain, it seemed just the opposite to me. Also, I found myself thinking about the quote from, I think, Socrates, which goes something like, "All I know is that I know nothing." I know this may sound sophomoric, but the truth of this statement dumbfounded me. All our knowledge of things, or phenomena is ultimately relative, referring to other things or phenomena. Science is just a more rigorous way of classifying, observing, predicting things. But ultimately we remain completely stupid. We can never know what something is. This seemed a fundamental truth, no matter how advanced we ever get technologically. The world seemed like a very crazy, random, chaotic place, like a giant zoo, with everybody living in it for completely different reasons. These thoughts really depressed me at the time. Phew. Well, this has gotten long. In conclusion, I don't know if I'll ever try MG seeds again. The length of my last experience with them, plus the nausea and depression outweighed the positive aspects of it. If MG seeds are at all like LSD, which I haven't tried, it's probably easier just to stick to acid. However, if you do try them, I'd recommend taking no more than 6 1.5 gram packs of seeds.